Good morning, my friends. Good morning. It is your girl, Veronica Burnett, your speaker, advocate, and coach for healthy relationships. And I am here again today. This will probably be the last one until the new year, unless I just have something burning on my heart to share. Um, but yeah, this will be the last one for the year as I will be working on a lot of programs. I have 3 groups of 12 women that I'm working with until the end of the year, and it is every week. And so it'll take a lot out of me, but I'm so thrilled and excited to do it. So, speaking 3 times a week for 12 weeks will probably take a toll on my voice. Not claiming it, but yeah, I want to give myself some downtime too. And the holidays are approaching, and so I know people are going to go shopping. If you do Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever it is that your family celebrates, Thanksgiving is coming up. So just want to give people an opportunity to not have to be held down by sitting and watching me here on StreamYard and then Facebook, but just giving everybody the being courteous enough to, just let people enjoy their time with family. And so I appreciate you being with me every second and fourth Saturday of the month. It's been a wonderful experience with you all. The conversations have been really good. And if there's anything that we haven't talked about yet and you'd like to talk about, you can always send me a DM here in the Facebook group or put it on our comment section or post it because you all are allowed to post. But yeah, I just want to make sure that I have been serving you and that I've given you information that you can use for your life, not just in breaking cycles, but to change the trajectory of your life, to cultivate something new, to have better relationships with people, with yourself. I hope that some things that I've shared with you has helped you to heal in some areas, to rediscover yourself. We did a series on repositioning. And so repositioning was what I was feeling at the moment. And those things that I share with you were things that, I got as divine downloads. And I wanted to be able to share them with you. So when I started Better Days, it wasn't because it was something I thought of on my own. I was actually driving to work and I asked God, what do you want me to do with all that I've experienced, all that I've learned, and all of the, well, I was going to different conferences. So all the information that I had gleaned from over a year or two of just studying and learning myself and regrouping. And he simply said, I want you to share your voice. I want you to share your story because there are other women out there who are experiencing what you've experienced. And they need to know that there are better days out there for them. And so I said yes to that. And I don't think I've ever had more peace about a decision ever. And so when I said yes, that's when the doors opened. That's when he started sharing and downloading different things for me to share with you all. And so when you see me on here doing coffee, tea, and me, when you see me doing a quick chat, or when I do a post, many times it's because I just sat with God and He's like, listen, I need you to tell them this. I need to share that. And they're not all biblical stories, they're not all spiritual stories, but they are all stories that we can relate to. They're topics that we can relate to and share with other people. There's topics that, we are afraid to touch on. Um, like acknowledgement and like forgiveness and being intentional. I mean, all of those take us back to ourselves and having us to reflect on ourselves and where we are and what we've been doing, what doesn't work anymore in our lives, and what we could really do better. It really makes you reflect. And so I never wanted to spend time rehashing the bad things that happened and not neglecting them, not saying that it didn't happen or downplaying anybody's situation, but we can't live in that space. And so my purpose is to help you all see that yes, we've hurt. Yes, we've been hurt. We've hurt some people too. We've experienced some things in life that wasn't so pleasant. But what do we do with it? And how do we move past it? How do we create a better life for ourselves in spite of the things that have happened to us? How do we forgive when the hurt is so deep? And so those are the things that, I help others try to explore and discover and uncover in their lives. And I hope that with these conversations that we've had, that that's what's happened in your life. And if it has, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear how your life has changed or evolved, how you've evolved as a person, how your relationships with other people have changed when you thought that it was over, like you thought that there was no coming back, no turnaround, that it was a lost cause, but something happened and reconciliation took place. I would love to hear all of your stories about that. So, welcome to whoever just joined me. Please go back and catch the replay of the beginning because I said a lot. But thank you for joining me. And whoever you are, thank you for being here every week, joining me for Coffee, Tea, and Me. Again, this may or may not be the last um, Coffee, Tea, and Me. It looks like my videos froze. This may or may not be the last video for the year because I'm working on a really big project and I want to make sure that everyone is served properly. And I don't want to come on here tired and doing things halfway because you deserve better than that. But yeah, so just thank you for being with me and taking this ride with me because it's been a joy to do this every second and fourth Saturday, every Wednesday night, sometimes Thursday night. But let's just dive right in. Today, we are talking about. Oh, hello, hello. I didn't even see all of the people who joined and said hello to me. Oh my gosh, let me just do this really quick so I can see your name and say hello properly to you. Hey, friend. I see you, Legina. Thank you. You always here. You're always here. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so sorry about my voice today. I mentioned I am tired. I had two groups this week. I had a group and a panel discussion that I was a part of. And I think you saw one of my posts the day after where I talked about the groups of ladies that I talked to. One was for the House of Ruth, and I'll say that it was the House of Ruth, and they are so near and dear to my heart. Like God gave me them to talk to, and they have welcomed me into their circle to coach them through healing. And it's because God did it. That's all I can say. Like I know what it's like to be in an abusive relationship, and you get out and you don't know what to do with yourself. You have all of these emotions going on, and you're like, I want to be happy, but I don't know how to be happy with all of this that I'm carrying. Thank you so much. But you're like, I don't know what to do with all of these different emotions. It's like or tornado, like all of this stuff just whirling around in your head. And so I've been there, and through God's grace and His guidance and giving me like these pillars to stand on, um, He's helped me through it. And so my purpose and my mission is to help other women who have been just like me in the situation that I've been in to see that in themselves, and then they can push forward in their lives and see that that is not their end. And then the other group, we talked about debunking the myth of the angry Black woman. And that one was a very powerful conversation because I really hope that my video is not freezing. It's freezing on my end, but I hope that you're hearing what I'm saying. Um, but we were talking about debunking the angry Black woman schema. And we women of color, because we carry so much, because we've seen it in other family members, that we think we have to live up to being this strong person. And we're angry because we are doing it. We're angry because we're doing it and nobody is recognizing the fact that we are strong Black women. And then we get angry. We're angry because of things that have happened to us and nobody has taken care to help us heal from that and help us understand it and nurture us. And so we do get angry. We get angry because we're overlooked and underserved and unappreciated. Um, we get angry because we're overlooked on the job. We are paid less than our counterparts in many cases. We are misunderstood. You know, we're expected to push down whatever emotions and feelings we're having because we have to take care of the family, because we have to be the strong woman who takes care of the children. And many of us, let's do this. I think my computer was trying to do something crazy, and that's why it kept stopping on me. Um, so we're expected to push all of those feelings down and still show up as superior superwomen. Our children and our family members expect us to be super women, and then we put that on ourselves and accept it instead of saying, no, I don't have to be. I don't have to be everything to everybody. These other people out here who are expecting so much from us, we can say no, no, and not take it on, because the more you take on, the more is going to be given to you and the less help you'll get, because you look like you can carry it all. And then in the end, when everything falls apart, people are looking like, well, what happened? I thought you had it together. And not that we care about what other people say, but we hold it together so well, even if it's by the last strand of thread in the apron, y'all. We hold it together so well and we hide behind it, knowing deep down inside that we need help. We need someone to listen to us. We need someone to hear our heart and understand that we hurt too. Understand that we need someone to be patient with us and understand that we need someone who's going to be there and support us. Like I was talking to a gentleman a few months ago, and we were talking about relationships and things like that. And I was like, listen, I know that many of my friends and people have seen me as, you know, the one who's very independent, outspoken. Yes, very outspoken, opinionated at times. I've gotten a lot better over the years. And I seem like I haven't together. I've been on my own for many years, you know. I had some setbacks, but I've been on my own and I always find a way to bounce back. So people think that, you know, I can do it all. But I said to him, listen, when I marry someone or before I marry someone, I don't want to have to do everything. I promise I don't want to do everything. I promise I can be a submissive person. I don't want to be the one to make all of the decisions in the household anymore. I want to share that responsibility, not relinquish it all, but I want to share that responsibility with someone else. It's too much sometimes to carry it on, especially for a woman. You know, we carry the not the burden, we carry the responsibility of our womanhood, our motherhood, being a wife. We carry all of that. If you look at that Proverbs 31, is it that Proverbs 31 woman, where they talk about everything that she did? Listen, I don't like getting up early in the morning. She did. She got up early. She took care of her home. She made sure her maids were taken care of. Listen, she had some money, okay? She was a businesswoman, did all of this stuff at home before she went out and did her um, merchandising. I believe it's what it's called, merchandising. She did all of this. She was a strong woman. You're a morning person. I am not a morning person. Listen, I have a picture. My mother has a picture of me one morning. I was about to go to daycare, I believe. So I had to be like 3 or 4. The look I had on my face was like, why am I up at this ungodly hour? And this was at 3 or 4. I've never been a morning person. The only reason I wake up early now is because my daughter is a morning person. And I love that because by the time I get up, she's found her own snack. She's created some things. Today she created shopping bags for her Barbie dolls. It was the cutest thing. But I'm getting off subject, okay? So so yeah, she gets up early and she does all of this every morning, every day. That's a big responsibility. But I bet her husband is known at the gates. Her husband is known in the city. So he has to be, he has to match her in some kind of way on her level. And he brings what he brings to the table. She brings what she brings to the table. That's the kind of partnership and relationship that I want to have. I don't want to do everything. I promise I don't. Have I said that enough? I do not want the responsibility of making all of the decisions myself. It's a lot because when you're forced to do it, yeah, you're angry because you're like, this other person is gone. The father is gone. He's doing whatever he wants to do. And I'm here at home loving my life as a mom. I do love being a mom. Everybody knows it. But it would be so much easier to have a partner to share that with. So, yeah, we do get angry. Angry at the fact that it didn't go the way we expected it to go. Angry because that other person walked away when you decided you was going to share your life with them, that you were going to share your body with them, your bed with them, the responsibility, and they didn't take it as seriously and walked away. That's right, teamwork. You decided, you just knew it was going to be that way. You knew that he was going to be there because he promised he would, and he walked away. And now we mad because I gave all I had to give to this relationship and he walked away. I'm angry too. I would have been mad too. I would be mad too. And I was for a long time. I was angry. And even though I chose to walk away, I was angry because the situation and the circumstances led me to having to make that decision because it was the best decision for me and my child. Does it feel good to be a single mom? No, no, that it doesn't because I really do want her to have a live-in dad. But the alternative of that situation would have been worse than me being a single mom. That's right, the best decision I ever made. The best decision I ever made. So, how do I get beyond being angry? I get beyond it by giving that all to God. I get beyond it by acknowledging that I made some decisions that I should not have in the marriage, before the marriage, meeting the person. Even before I met him, I should have spent more time in therapy. I really should have. But I thought I was good and I thought I was ready, big and bad. And then I ran into that brick wall. Let me tell you, I ran into a brick wall that was probably on fire. And I did it willingly. Um, but I should have spent more time in therapy. I should have spent more time getting to know myself because when I look back on it, I realized I was just tapping into who I really was at that time. I was 37. Yeah, 37. I was just tapping into Veronica, just tapping into why I made the decisions that I did throughout my life. I should have stayed in therapy to continue digging deep in why I made the decisions that I did. And unfortunately and fortunately, I didn't. I went on into a relationship that wasn't healthy from the beginning. Hindsight shows me that. And I can't be angry with that because I didn't know what I didn't know. I really didn't. Did not know that I didn't know. My picker was so broken, but I went forward with it anyway, with a flawed sense of what a relationship looks like, with a flawed understanding of who I am. I wasn't completely accepting of me. And so I allowed someone else to take advantage of the purity of my heart, the purity of my love, and the desire of wanting a family. Um, yeah, I allowed that because I wanted what I wanted. I wanted a family at 37. I wanted a family. I felt like I was getting old because I didn't have children. I wasn't married. All of my friends were either married or have kids who were teenagers or almost grown. And here I am, the single one with, what looked like a pretty decent life, but I was sad and I wanted companionship and I just accepted anything. I allowed um, that desire for companionship to reign over common sense and blinding me to the red flags, as my friend said, the red flags. When red flags, honey, it was writing on the wall, so big, underlined, highlighted with exclamation points. And I was like, that's not what I see. I don't see that. That is not what I see. It is this and this and this. I justified the red flags. I did. I did. I can acknowledge that now. I can say that now. Yeah, we all do it. We all do it. When it's in us that the desire is so strong, we minimize the abuse. We minimize the interaction, the engagement. We underestimate or minimize the neglect. That's what I was getting at. We minimize the neglect, the is that the right insincerity? Is that a word? we minimize all of it, and then we jump on board with the representative that's shown. We know deep down in our hearts that our intuition is saying this person is lying, and we're like, no, because what I see is this, and he said blah 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 blah, and yeah, the lies are right there. You can pick them apart with your fingers. You could pull the lies apart. You can put all of the things that they've said together and know that none of it lines up. But you're like, I'm going to find some thread and weave all of these lies together as the truth. And we go for it. I did that. I did that. But what do I do now? Now I say and accept that I played a part in whatever decision I made and where I am today. I played a part in that. Was he innocent? No, he did a whole lot. And I can go over and recount stories of it. But I won't because what good will it do? What good will it do? We had a conversation not long ago through text messages because we cannot talk on the phone. But we had a text message conversation not long ago, and all he does is go back to what happened, what I did, what I said, and I'm like, yeah, I did, I did, and then I said, okay, and then you did X, Y, and Z, and so that is why I made the decision that I made. I never did it, but then they go back to it, and so finally I said, how long are you going to live in the past? Period. How long? Don't you have something else going on in your life that is more important and more exciting than living in your past? You've got to. You've got to. If you don't move on from your past, if you don't get healing from your past, and this is for anybody watching the replay of this, if you do not heal from your past and release some of that from your life, you're going to stay there. And every decision you make throughout your life is going to be based on something that happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when it doesn't have to be. You can release all of that. You can forgive all of that. You can cut it off and say, I'm no longer living in that space. I'm no longer making decisions based on the person that I was 10 years ago, because you're not that person anymore. You've developed, you've grown. So let's make decisions from the grown woman point of view. Even if you didn't grow up until 42, I grew up at 42, okay? At 42, after I had my daughter, after I had to leave and living at my parents' home. That's when I grew up, okay? So it doesn't matter at what age this maturity hit you. But what we don't want to do with our maturity is down it, water it down, and go back to making decisions from the past. That is an immature state to be in. And I want better for you. I want you to live in this grown woman empowered space that you're in now, and not allow what happened in your past to affect your future. Can you imagine if this is going to be so gross? Can you imagine if you used tissue from 10 years ago to clean up something in your current place, in your current space now? That's gross. Why would you do it? You wouldn't do it. So don't do that with decisions. Don't do that with your life now. Make better decisions now, not based on the past. Heal from the past. Talk to someone. If you can't let go of your past, get yourself a coach, get yourself a therapist, get yourself a counselor, a spiritualist, whatever it is that you subscribe to, and begin working on that journey. That's what the ladies at the House of Ruth and I are doing now. We're on our journey of healing, and I love it. I love it because when you're ready, when like you're ready, you're open, and you start making decisions. You start being intentional about those decisions. You get intentional about your healing, because nothing else matters. Nothing can keep you from it. Nothing. And when we get on our Zooms every week, we come together ready. They come hungry. I come there ready to serve and pour into them. That's when you're ready. And that's when change happens. That's when the repositioning happens. That's when you get to see, I am more than a conqueror. That's when you get to see, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And you can see yourself doing it. You can see yourself in a place. Yes, that's right. Open for change. You can see yourself in a place that you thought about and never thought was possible. But now you see the possibility. Now you see, shoot, I could really do that. I mean, you start drinking your own Kool-Aid then. Like, I can do this. I can really do this. Now, how do I do it? And you start being intentional by doing things like showing up for coffee, tea, and me, and a quick chat, because you just don't know what nugget you're going to get, but you're going to get something that you can say, oh, that's it. That's what I was waiting on. Let me put that one in my crown, shift my crown, and keep on moving, you know? And so that is not what I came on here to talk about today. I came on here to talk about cultivating healthy relationships. But I guess all of this ties right into um, where it starts. I mean, it starts with us, with you as the individual. It starts with understanding and knowing yourself. And I put the post on here, and they were communicating our needs, desires, and wants. understanding ourselves, and honesty and love. And so the question was asked, sorry about the noise, y'all. You all know my home faces a major street, and some of the wonderful passersby, their cars, their cars are so loud. All right. So anyway, so communication of your needs, desires, and wants, understanding yourself, honesty, and love. And so the question was, what are the ingredients of a healthy relationship? And so in the past, I would have been like, oh, love. All you need is love. Nope. Even before you get to the love, you've got to know who you are. You've got to understand how you tick, how you operate, how you show up. You've got to understand that. You've got to know your love language. I mean, I know you've heard it and talked about it. And if you don't know, you can always go online and research it. It's very easy to find. Look up the 5 love languages, and it will spell it out for you. One of them is words of affirmation, and another is gifts. Uh, One of them is affection and quality time. And so I know mine is quality time and affection. Um, like I feel good when I have my partner right by my side. And you don't have to be here all the time. You don't have to be in my face all the time. But our time together, it needs to be uninterrupted. Our time together needs to be me and you and talking like good conversations. Oh, yes. That's quality time with me. Sitting at the beach talking about nothing, that's quality time. Like I dated a guy years ago, and we would go to the beach. He found this big tent, so he bought this tent. So he would set the tent up, and he would take his small grill, and we would go to the beach. And he would like, you just sit right here and relax. I'm going to cook the food. I would sit right there in my chair that he bought for me and fall asleep while he cooked. But he was doing something for me. So acts of service is another one. So he was doing something for me while we were in our quality time because nobody else was with us, just me and him. And after, I woke up from my nap so I could eat, we would just spend time together laughing and talking. Whether we got in the beach water or not, it was our time together. And I know I need that. And I was able to tell him that listen, if we're going to be in this relationship, then you've got to make time for me. And if you don't, I know I will get bored and little Miss Veronica will stray. I will stray. And I'm like, okay, well, it's been nice, but I'm going to go ahead on over here to see what this is about. Or I'm going to be me, find me, chilling by myself. You have to know that about yourself before you go into a relationship. Even in the beginning, you have to know what you're looking for. And that person that you meet needs to know what it is about themselves that is important, like those top 5 things that they absolutely have to have in a relationship. And then at that time, you have to see whether you are able to give that to them. Are you willing to give that to them? They might need a specific amount of time every week. They may need you to call them every week, but you also have to know I don't like calling you every day, all day long. How about I call you in the morning? We're going to talk in the morning. We're talking maybe in the noonday, in the afternoon. You've got to know yourself well enough to be able to say, I can meet you halfway if that's all you can give, or say, that's too much for me. And then you be all right with that. Be secure enough in yourself to be able to say, no, that's not going to work. Whatever that not working part is, you've got to be able to say that. A couple of other things. If you know that you know what it is that you want, and so if you want to one day be married, then you should be able to express that in the relationship. I'm not saying on day one when you go out for coffee and tea and you say, I want to be married and I want 5 kids by the time I'm 32. No, that's not the time to do that. But you go and you listen and you hear what the other person is talking about. And then later on, once you're talking about, going into a relationship or getting to know each other better, then yes, be able to say, well, before we move further, what are your views and thoughts on family, on marriage, on children, and see what they say. And then if that does not line up with yours, be able to say, well, this is what I'd like. And if they are, saying, no, I don't want that, or yes, I do, whatever the case may be strong enough in yourself to say, this isn't going to work. And not be in a place where you're like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and give in. Um, Maybe one day he'll change his mind. No, I did that. I did that. The same guy that I dated that would take me to the beach and cook for me and do all these other wonderful things for me. He did not want any more children. I had none. And so I stuck around for like 3 years. And when it finally sunk in that one day he might marry me and we will never have children, and I had to be happy with his 2 kids, out the blue, I said, this is not working for me because I know what I want. And did it hurt to walk away? Yes, because in a lot of ways he was very kind to me. Other ways he wasn't. Um, but I wasn't going to get what I needed. And I knew and understood my wants and my desires. So you've got to know those. Um, Even in platonic friendships, you have to know what you'll stand for, because in platonic relationships you have friends who will abuse you as well, who will use you as well if you let them. And so you have to know where your boundaries are. You have to understand how far you will go with your friends. Like, are you ride or die? Great, but will you go all the way to dying? you know is there a line that's drawn that you're like, listen, if you go too far out there, I may not be with you on that one. You have to know where your line is, your boundaries are, what you will and will not accept in your friendships. um I'm sorry, that's with anybody really. Understanding yourself, honesty and love. So honesty, I think, is the one of the most important ones as well, because once you are understanding of yourself, you know who you are deep down inside. You're caring, you're loving, you're kind, you sassy and spicy like me. Sometimes you have a little bit of hood, and sometimes you have a little Downton Abbey, and sometimes you have a little bit of what was the other? Sometimes you can be prim and proper. It just depends. I'm all of them. I'm country. Sometimes you may hear that, um, but understanding that about myself and being okay with that, whoever I'm friends with or in a relationship with, I'm going to be honest. You might get a hood girl some days. You might get me dressed up in makeup and eyelashes and maybe contacts and a fitted dress. And then the next day, you might get some sweatpants and a t shirt, my uniform, you know? But being honest, right out the gate, be honest with who you are, what you have to say. Are you really looking for a relationship, a deep relationship, or do you want a friendship? Do you want, really, friends with benefits? It's your decision, but be honest. Like, never lead anybody on to thinking that they're going to be a BFF with you because you have a BFF, or you're looking for someone to hold your hand through a process, but you don't say that, or you've been traumatized in your past. And let me say right here, in love relationships, you have to know who that person is before you share all of your details. Um, Especially if you know that that person can't handle it, then there's some things that you just don't share. And I'm not saying that you lie. If you are over, that part of your life is over and it is not affecting where you are now, is not going to come back and bite you in the butt, and you're okay if it resurfaces, I say leave it where it is. Leave it buried. And that might not sound good for somebody else, but I'm speaking from experience. Um, when I shared, like, I really thought that that marriage was going to be everything I needed it to be. And I wanted to be honest. I didn't want no secrets. I didn't want any of that. And so I shared so much about my past because I wanted him to know who he was getting, what I had been through, and how I had changed and into this amazing woman that I am. But he took those words and he took those experiences and he used them to hurt me. And he used them to make me feel less than. Um, he took them and made me, or tried to make me feel like I was inadequate and that I was still that same person. He took those words and he perverted them and made them so ugly and tried to bring back those experiences. I'm like, dude, you weren't even around in my life when those things happened. um, and so you have to know that other person and whether that other person is strong enough to handle your truth and your honesty. And if they are not, then some truth and honesty you have to leave right where it is. It doesn't make it less true, it doesn't make it less honest, but some things you just cannot discuss with some people. Now, for me, I want my partner to be able to know me, know what I've come through and what I've experienced, and I want him to be able to handle it. That's what I want. It's far fetched, maybe, but that's what my desire is. And I'll test it out a little bit at a time. I might share a little bit at a time, not everything. But you have to know yourself and you have to know that other person well enough to know if they can handle it. And if they can't, you hold that on, you give it all to God, you go talk to God whenever you need to share that. You're like, Lord, let me tell you, this right here happened a long time ago, and I really want to share this with this person. You let me know if they can handle this. And if they can't, you hold on to it. Um, but that's on honesty and truth. And then that other person, they need to be able to trust you with their truth. Are you trustworthy? Are you one who can hold their secret and hold their hurt? Are you one that can hold a safe space for them to be honest? And vice versa. We all need that safe space. We all need that person that we can go to in our lives and sit there and listen to us cry and snot it out and rub our back and tell us it's going to be okay. And then tell us in that honest space, you know, you were wrong in this, but you were right in this. You know, this can be different, and here's how I can help you. Honestly, all you can do is all you can do. But you need that person right there with you who can hold space for you to be honest. And then the love part. When you find that someone else honors you, is understanding of you, taking time. Like, I love the fact when he can say, I've taken time to study you. Do you know what that does? Like, someone that you really want this relationship with, and they take time to study you and understand you, and you do the same thing for them. Like, you have to understand and study that person. Like, watch how this person moves, watch how this person reacts to different difficult situations, to sudden change. How are they? Can they snap back? Because I mean, sudden changes, it doesn't feel good to you. It doesn't always feel good. Trust me on that. But how do you react? How do you embrace sudden change? Do you fly off the handle and everything is going to be the worst day ever? Like my daughter, y'all, if she breaks a pencil, this is the worst day ever. Baby, you have 5,000 pencils you can grab. Grab another pencil and keep writing, okay? But it's that person like that. And are you? So when someone can take time to study you, pay attention to that. Are they using it to their benefit, or are they using it to love you better? There's a difference. There's a difference. And those are the things that we pay attention to when we are going into relationships. Any relationship. How does your friend, your BFF react when you're laughing at my daughter? How does your BFF act when there's a sudden change? Can she snap back? Can he snap back? Or do they roll with the punches? Like, okay, now how do I handle this? And how do I reposition now? And how can I move past this? Even in business, even in business. Like, I have a friend now who's starting a business with their friend, and he's all in, like ready to run with it. But his friends are like, I could take it to leave it. We could do this, we could do that. Okay, can you be honest with your friend and go to them and say, listen, I'm all in. And if you're not, tell me. Tell me. No love lost. No love lost. We can still be cool. We can still hang out. But I'm going to go on with this business. And if you're not on board with me, that's cool. That's cool. Are your friends in business honest enough to say, listen, these people over here approached me about doing this side job. So I think I want to tell y'all about it because I really want to do it. But I need you to know that this is what I'm doing. Are you all honest enough with each other to be open like that? If you're in a love relationship and someone comes to you and say, hey, like I had this guy to put on, what was it? On Instagram. Like, he put a whole paragraph on there about how beautiful I am and the glow that I have and all of this. And I'm like, man, if I had a boo thing and he sees this, will I tell him about it? Do I text him and say, this dude said on Instagram, blah, 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 blah to me? Is he cool enough to handle that without getting offended, without getting in his feelings and feeling jealous? Knowing who I am, knowing that I won't go and entertain this. But that's honesty on my part. I want to be able to talk. I talk a lot, y'all. So I can't hold too much. Now I know what to hold. Trust me on that. But I'm not gonna hold a lot. I'm gonna laugh it off. I'm like, listen, this dude said, did you see that on my page? I took it down because I don't want anybody to think anything crazy. But I took it down. But that's being honest. And can the other person handle your honesty? Really? And can you handle someone else being honest, brutally honest with you? Like, oh my gosh. Prime example. I was telling one of my friends about a situation that happened in the store one day with me and Shelby, and this lady jumped into our conversation. I'm talking to my child. She's crying, trying to explain herself to me. And the lady walks up and it's like, oh my goodness, that face, there's no need for that face. So I looked at the lady like, woman, if you don't go somewhere. And my friend was like, Ronnie, you went way too far. Because knowing the facial expression I gave her, it was one where you're like, woman, for real, sit down because you're about to catch it. And he was like, Ronnie, you went too far. You really didn't have to do that. The lady was, just trying to be helpful. And I think you read more into it. I need a friend that's going to tell me, Ronnie, listen, calm down. Calm down. But anyway, I am going way beyond what I was going to talk about. So yeah, communication, knowing yourself and understanding yourself before you get into a relationship. That relationship with yourself has got to be strong. You've got to know yourself better than anybody else could. If you don't, how can you possibly think that someone else needs to figure it out? Like, you can never say ever again, well, he knows me, so he should understand this about me. No, not if it's new. Or he should just know this. No. Even for married women, you're in the bedroom, and this is as far as I'm going to go with it. You're in the bedroom, intimate, physically intimate with your husband. If you are not satisfied with what he's doing, you owe it to the relationship to say, baby, I like to be pleased like this. I like to be pleased like that. Can we try this? Can we try that? That's honesty. That's communicating your needs, wants, and desires. It will take it to another level, trust me. But you got to be honest with what you need. You got to be careful with the way you say it because you don't want to bruise his ego. Doesn't have to be right in the moment. And if it is, take his hands or his whatever and move like you need them to move. You be aggressive, not in a takeover type of way, but you be assertive and show what you like. That's communicating your needs, your wants, your desires in every area. You can't be afraid. You can't think that things are taboo to talk about because in the end, you don't serve yourself. In the end, you are still longing for something, desiring something, wanting something. If you don't open your mouth and say, I need this to feel fulfilled, I need this to feel wanted and desired by you. I need you to say, baby, you look beautiful with that leopard print bonnet on. I need you to say that. I need you to say when you see me wearing a new lipstick, or I like when you wear your hair up. Not, I don't like your hair down like that. I like when you wear your hair up. Listen, my hair going up in every bun, every different way possible. You do? Okay. Let me get it put up. Let me make my phone call. Baby, I like when your toenail polish is this color. Or go to him and say, what's your favorite color? If you don't remember, do you have a new favorite color? Go get that on your fingernails. Get that on your toes. Get a pretty scarf or piece of jewelry that's their favorite color. It will catch their eye. Okay? That's for the married people. And then for the ones who are looking and searching, or you have a budding friendship, there is nothing wrong with that. That is nothing wrong with that. Nothing. You want to be seen. You want him to find you. Those are your smoke signals. I had a guy to tell me a couple years ago, I saw your smoke signals. I saw your smoke signals. You did? Okay. Well, let me see what other smoke signals I can put up. But those are smoke signals. You know, the one who's for you may be looking for a particular type of woman. I told my one of my cousins not long ago, yesterday actually, she went to LabCorp and she had to have some blood drawn, and it took her like 2 days to call me back. So I said, you still have your bandage on your arm? And she was like, no, I took it off. My mother told me I needed to take it off Wednesday. I said, okay, fine. But did you walk around with a limp too? She said, no. I said, listen, next time you do it, put the thing on, because she said she wanted a man that was going to take care of her. I said, put the thing back on your arm, go to the store and walk with a limp and go, I said, the man that's for you, God will probably tell him, listen, you're going to find her at the Walmart. She going to have a limp. It's going to be temporary, but she have a limp. Listen, you just don't know who is out there looking for the smoke signal of the one, okay? So take time, know yourself, and tap into who you are, that girly one inside of you, that feminine one inside of you, that go-getter, the empowered woman inside of you, the educated woman inside of you, the one who's like, yeah, I am available, I'm still putting it all together, but I'm here. I'm a wonderful person. I'm a beautiful person. And I tell my daughter, anyone who is your friend is a lucky person to be your friend. You walk around with that. Like anybody who's attracted or drawn to me, they're going to be blessed by being in my company. And you carry yourself that way. You pull yourself together that way. You you nurture yourself that way, and you begin to educate yourself in the way that will put you in that space. Even if you're not all the way where you want to be, take some time to get to know you. Be intentional about getting to that place that you want to be. You'll get there. You will get there. I promise you'll get there. All right. Y'all, this was a great conversation. Y'all were pushing me in these comments right here, the affirmation I needed. Yes, yes, yes. I'm glad you got what you needed. Yes, yes, yes. Listen, we can keep going now. If y'all gonna keep showing up every second and fourth Saturday of the month, then I will keep this going through the end of the year. And whoever joins us, joins us. But I love chatting with you. And if there are other conversations or anything I said today, you want to go deeper and we'll talk about deeper, let me know. And we will. We will. I have friends who are colleagues of mine who do coaching specifically on relationships, specifically on becoming a wife, specifically on sexuality, um, all kinds of things. So anything that you want to talk about, we can, because all of that comes into healthy relationships. All of that falls under healthy relationships with yourself, with yourself, so that you can be a better friend. You can show up as a better wife. And nobody, I'm not saying that you're not good right where you are. You're amazing right where you are. But if your desire is to shift, then come on, let's shift. I'm going to help you with that journey. All right. All right, I'm going to let you all go. You are welcome. I'm so glad that you got some nuggets from today, your affirmation from today, my other friends, some teaching from today. Thank you so much, y'all. Like I said, you've all pushed me, and I appreciate you so much. Enjoy this wonderful fall day. I'm so glad it's fall, but I'm not looking forward to winter. Let me just say that. All right, y'all. You have a wonderful day. To my friend who just joined us, please go back and catch the replay because it was good. Like you'll see in the comments, it was good. And put in the comment section hashtag replay. Let me know you were here, and I will bid you adieu. Ciao for now.